Back here at Cashman Field, ready for action. Let's take a look at the Indians starting lineup today. Francisco Lindor will lead it off. He's in shortstop. Rajai Davis in left field hits second. Jason Kipnis will DH. He'll bat third. Mike Napoli cleaning up at first base. Yandy Diaz at third will hit fifth. Then it's Bradley Zimmer, Brandon Barnes, Eric Haas doing the catching, and Drew Maggi at second base bats ninth. Left-hander Rob Zastryzny on the hill for Chicago. He's the first player Theo Epstein drafted to make it to the majors for the Cubs. He was a second-round pick out of in 2013, and he went 1-0 in 8 games in his debut in the big leagues back in 2016. Lindor fouls one right back. Frankie's had a good spring. He's popped 4 home runs. He's driven in 9. Coming off an amazing season. You talk about home runs, extra base hits. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. And Zastryzny gets the strikeout.
When you look at Zastryzny, he spent most of the year in AAA last year. Not overpowering, you can see. 7 starts out of his 14 games, a 2-3 record, an ERA just under 6. 40 strikeouts in his 47 innings.
Rajai asking for time. It was granted by home plate umpire Ed Hickox. Up and away, ball 1. Rajai Davis last year smacks this one to left, and it's in for a base hit.
Let's take a look at that Cubs defense this afternoon. It'll be Burks in left field. Hanneman is in center. Hayward over at right. Cord is at third. Russell at short. Young is at second. Rizzo at first. Caratini is behind the plate.
Granted, it's only spring training, but Anthony Rizzo had one of those moments where the analogy would be you walk out on stage expecting to be out there with an ensemble cast, and you're the only one out there as Rajai Davis bolts for second and steals the bag easily. He went out to take his position with the rest of the team. He was the only guy out there. He stood out there by himself for about 2 minutes looking around, wondering when everybody else was going to come out and join him.
Well, there you see. Rajai just went on first movement, stole it easily without even a throw.
In off the plate, ball 1 to Jason Kipnis. Couple of hits yesterday. And Rick, when you think about Rajai Davis, and as Terry Francona mentioned early in the spring when they signed him, when they brought him in, you want to see with your own eyes that the ability is still there, the skill set is still there, and I think he's proven that.
Well, no question. I mean, he lives by his legs, and, you know, we talked about it a little bit yesterday. When you're 37 years old, a lot of times, you know, you just don't have the spring like you used to have, but he does. And he showed you on the very first pitch. And if you don't pay attention, he'll steal third base too and turn that base hit into a triple.
Meanwhile, 3-0 count for Kipnis, and that's the other thing speed does for you.
Yeah, there you hit right.
And he draws a walk, so 2 on with 1 out. So here's a look back at the watch. Here comes Rizzo. He's out and he's ready. All right. Hey, where's everybody
They
at?
got him. Let's go.
This isn't fast speed. He's waiting.
They did that to him on purpose. They said, "You ready to roll? Let's go." Got him.
Yes, they did. And then they finally take the field, and he basically says, yeah, the heck with you guys. Mike Napoli with a chance to do some early damage. Boy, did he get on top of a pitch yesterday. Drove it out to left field, but as you pointed out immediately, you don't see Knapp go upstairs and hit a ball like that. He's a good low ball hitter.
Yeah, that one, it was a middle of the plate, and he really brought his hands in to get down on the baseball, and he did hit it well.
Up and away. Here's another look at it if you missed it from yesterday.
See, up and away, it's a little harder, but boy, to get those hands through it, and he's a good low ball hitter. That's a tough swing. That's tough for anybody to hit that pitch.
And that was off Carl Edwards, who's got some pretty good velocity.
Right.
Not an easy guy to take out.
And he felt good about that. He said because it's against a quality reliever.
Yeah. Pops this one up and back and out of play.
Getting back to Rajai and the speed and what you do and talking about stealing bases. The one thing, most base runners, it takes them a while, or base stealers, they don't go early. Raj, he goes early. First pitch, second pitch. He doesn't mess around, and that's the toughest thing to do. A lot of guys, they have to feel comfortable out there for a little while before they can run.
He's ready to run the minute he takes the field.
Yeah, yes, he is.
Nothing doing. Rajai scampers back to second. He's not going to take off with a guy like Napoli at the bat. Anytime you're on base with your middle of the order hitters, you've got to be able to steal it standing up to
right.
go.
And the count's in Knapp's favor too, so he wants to let him get a pitch to his liking.
Oh, he hammers it foul.
Well, he's not getting cheated today, I will say that.
Terry Francona made the trip over from Goodyear. The Indians have a split squad working, so some of the coaches like Sandy Alomar, Carl Willis, they stayed back in Goodyear. Brad Mills. Pulls it foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Joe Madden, likewise for the Cubs, is not here. He's back at the Cubs spring training facility. They're in Mesa now, right?
Yes. Yeah, they've been in Mesa for the last, I think, 40 years.
Oh, new ballpark, though. Hohokam was where they used to be.
Exactly. That's where Oakland took over, but they're still considered Mesa.
They have a mini Wrigley Field now. They've
got the longest tenured spot out there in the Cactus League. Oh, yes.
Got him looking.
Sure did.
A couple of strikeouts for Zastryzny, and there are 2 down in the inning.
Just throws that fastball down and he just locked him up right at the knees. He couldn't pull the trigger, and Knapp likes the baseball down, but that got on him in a hurry.
Well, now Yandy Diaz batting .355 on the spring. Really likes to shoot the ball the other way, and they have a big hole on the right side of the infield because the second baseman Young trying to keep Rajai close.
Yeah, but you shouldn't worry about that too much with 2 outs. Worry more about the hitter than him running in this situation. But they did start him off with a breaking ball to see if they could get him to roll over on it, and he took it.
Line to short. It's backhanded by Russell. Knocks him down. Everybody's safe, and they're loaded up. Got on him in a hurry, and on the short hop, he just couldn't quite field it cleanly.
No, sirree. I mean, this ball was hammered right there on the short hop. That's one that he had to come up with it. It didn't stick in his glove. But he was right there on the baseball, and when you don't catch it cleanly, he wisely just holds on to it. Everybody moves up a base, but that's a tough play right there to try and catch that one.
So they're loaded with 2 down for Bradley Zimmer. Lefty-lefty matchup. In the dirt, ball 1. Now we're going to get a conference. So this is one of those things that during the regular season you have to keep an eye on.
Well, that's true for the 6 visits to the mound. But he wanted to call the catch shot, so obviously he wants to tell him how he wants to go about trying to get Zimmer out, I believe.
You saw Ed Hickox, or we did. I don't know if we had a shot of it on camera, but he now points to the press box. He made a note of it on his
just something else they have
keeps.
to, just another
keep track
something
of it.
else they have to keep track of during the course of a game.
You know, Rick, I'm going to have to ask Bradley when we get a chance to see him tomorrow maybe. It doesn't appear to me that he's quite as crouched at home plate. Looked like he's standing just a little more upright. One of those subtle adjustments, perhaps. Down low.
I would think that's a good thing. He's a tall guy. He can generate. If he can get some extension, the ball jumps off his bat. And sometimes he would get tied up a little bit last year. Pitches inside.
3-0 count, bases loaded. Taking all the way, and it is in there for
that's
a
strike.
That's
the second left-hander he's faced. He had a tough time. He didn't throw a strike to Kipnis. He walked him on 4 pitches, and the first 3 to Zimmer. So he's trying to find that zone for the left-handers.
The 3-1. Ball 4, 1-0 Cleveland. Second walk of the inning.
Yeah, and that's one reason why, even when you're seeing a left-handed pitcher, you have to put left-handers in against a left-hander because it forces him to try to work both sides of the plate.
Well, this is a new rule for baseball this year. You get 6 visits to the mound per 9 innings. After that, you got to make a pitching change, and that goes for anybody that goes to the mound.
Right, whether it be an infielder or whoever.
Strike called to Brandon Barnes.
The old signal from the dugout from the manager, go talk to him. That's not going to work anymore.
Well, you're going to have to keep track of it. There may be at a point in time in a game where a manager still wants that to happen, but you can't just go there at will. 2 strikes. The effort is one in which they want to try to keep the pace of the play moving along, and instead of these constant stoppages, if you will. But there's still maybe some slight gray area.
There will be.
0-2 up high. For example, a pitcher, if a position player vacates his position to go talk to the pitcher, that counts as a visit. Well, where is that line of demarcation? Like if the shortstop leaves the dirt, is that considered?
I don't know that yet.
I think that's some of the things we will have to work through. The 1-2. Fouled right back by Barnes. Brandon Barnes, 31 years old.
Two great swings in a row right there. He had a couple of good pitches to handle, although he has 2 strikes. A couple of pitches that were elevated. And fouled it straight back.
Last year in AAA with the Marlins organization, he hit .325 against left-handed pitching. But he strikes out here to end the inning. So Zastryzny, talk about an up-and-down inning. He walks 2, strikes out 3, gives up a run, and the Indians have an early 1-0 lead.
One on the board in the top half of the first, and now it's going to be time for Stephen Fife to take the mound for the Indians. He split time last year between AAA New Orleans with the Marlins organization and over in the Pacific League in Japan, the Seibu Lions. And in New Orleans, 4-3 with a .397 ERA. He'll get his second start this spring.
And the Chicago Cubs starting lineup. Anthony Rizzo leading it off. Then it's Chris Bryant, the DH, the local guy right there on your screen. Addison Russell, Hayward, Caratini, Court, Hanneman, Young, and Burks. Those first 4, though, all big leaguers and all big bats. Rizzo takes, it's a called strike. He's having a very good spring, batting over 300. So is Chris Bryant. Addison Russell, the number 3 hitter, has batted almost 400 in Cactus League play. Popped up foul. Into the seats. Yesterday, Rizzo doubled and scored. He was also hit by pitch, so a couple of runs produced from the 3-hole in their lineup. Fouled right back. Stephen Fife, 31 years old. Last year at AAA with the Marlins. He's also pitched in the Japanese Pacific League. He was a 3rd-round pick of the Red Sox back in 2008. Swung on and missed. Fife strikes him out, 1 down.
Next guy.
Take a look at the Indians defense behind Fife today. It's Davis in left, Zimmer in center, Barnes in the right. Diaz at 3rd, Lindor at short, Maggi is at 2nd, Napoli at 1st, Haas doing the catching.
Chris Bryant, 1 for 3 yesterday with a base hit. Grew up right here in Las Vegas. Good rip there, but right back to the screen. And it's 1-1. I have to admit, there aren't many ballparks, if any, now that I think about it, where we are this close to the action.
Right.
I mean, we are, what would you guess? Not more than 50, 60 feet, it seems like, from home plate. Maybe a little farther than that,
maybe
but not
a
much.
little farther. But
So-
you know what? From this perch, though, I mean, this is as high as you can get. This is a minor league ballpark. They don't have the upper deck.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference.
This is almost like Old Tiger Stadium when you broadcast there.
That was scary there.
Two-two. Just missed off the plate inside. Fife, a native of Boise, Idaho. And in 1999, he pitched for Boise in the Little League World Series. Breaking ball bounced to 3rd. Yandy has it. And Diaz with a perfect throw, 2 down. Well, Rick, our storylines today, roster moves are coming. Indians have, I think, roughly more than just over 50 players still in camp. So you got to get down to 25 eventually. And we're going to start to see some of those guys head back to minor league camp
I would think
soon.
on Monday. Yeah, maybe tomorrow.
Eric Haas, a young catcher with a lot of talent. There's so much attention has been paid, understandably so, to Francisco Mejia. But this guy can handle the staff. He can hit, too.
Yeah, he's really opened some eyes up in the last year.
Addison Russell, batting .393 this spring. Russell 3 for 3 yesterday with a home run.
He's looking to come back and have a stellar season. Had a little slow one last year. Had some injuries and some personal issues.
Bounced up the gut. Maggi is there, flips it to first, side retired. A 1-2-3 inning for Stephen Fife. 1-0 Cleveland after an inning.
Your friend as the Indians are taking on the Chicago Cubs back in Goodyear. Just some updates on some players. So far, so good for Michael Brantley. He should be back tomorrow in the minor league lineup. Yan Gomes was going to make this trip, did not make it because he was dealing with a sore arm. He's back in the lineup. Lonnie Chisenhall is back today. And how's Jose Ramirez doing? You talk to Jose? Do you tell him? Jose's doing great. Jose got an injury yesterday on his ankle. He's missing today's game, but he'll be back in the lineup tomorrow.
I lost money here in Las Vegas. Andre somehow lost his voice.
It'll be back.
Yeah, my money won't be.
He just loaned it out to somebody.
Here is Eric Haas, who we were just talking about, the young catcher. Takes a strike. See his numbers a year ago.
I mean, those are impressive numbers when you think about down in Double-A. 26 home runs, you know, the 59 RBIs, and he's just starting to come into his own. He wanted to keep his bat, you know, on a level plane and get it through the hitting area a little bit longer than he did in the past, and in turn it sort of helped him elevate the baseball and hit it more in the air, and it's translated into some long balls. You know, they say launch angle, and they talk about a lot of things. Different players look at it different ways.
One down. Watch Frankie Lindor beating up on Andre as Andre's trying to concentrate and do his job here. Lindor walks by, and little rosin.
He's just drying him off. I don't think he's sweating yet today. Does anybody take more abuse?
Drew Maggi. Blue one right side, going to fall for a hit. And they'll stop right there. Little one-out single.
Well, that's what they call a little thing of beauty right there, where he didn't hit it hard enough. It hits the dirt. He fights it off. It has some spin. He gets over the first baseman's head, down around the trademark, and watch it spin away from the second baseman as he goes over to pick it up. That looks like a line drive in the paper.
Well, here's Frankie Lindor. Last year, Lindor was absolutely on fire after the All-Star break. He hit .345 in the second half. Only Joey Votto of the Reds had a higher average in the second half. And all that, this was an interesting little list among Indians players. Since 1954, the most base hits in the second half of a season. Lindor is fourth with 99 last year. Or actually, that was in 2015 when he did that. Victor Martinez had 100 in 05. Robbie Alomar had 101 in 2000. And your guy, Miguel De La Ney, in 1980 had 116 hits.
Wow.
In the second half.
Man. That's making a lot of left turns, because, you know, the second half is usually shorter than what it is that first half. You know, you're playing probably about 90 games, you know, in that first half.
Paul up high. You mentioned it yesterday at the top of our telecast when we came on the air, Frankie, though. 81 extra base hits.
Yeah.
Most ever by an Indian shortstop. 33 home runs.
44 doubles. Mixed in a few 4 triples, I believe.
And Jose Ramirez was almost better. I mean, overall, he had more extra base hits.
Well, yeah, he had 10 more extra base hits than Lindor. Lindor was third in the league with 81, and there's the splits for him. But this guy is, you know, you're thinking he can still get better, but it's going to be hard to top those numbers every year, because that's very impressive.
2 down. Last October, Frankie with the bases loaded. Off the foul pole for a grand slam in game 2.
That was probably the last positive thing that happened in that series last year.
Yeah, it all went south after that.
Yeah, they came back. They won that game 2. And you remember the quick throw. You remember that controversial call where Chisenhall in that inning was hit by a pitch, and he took first, but was he really hit? They didn't challenge it.
Oh, right.
And then right after that, Lindor came up and hit the grand slam. That was the big issue, and, you know, Girardi ended up losing his job.
He was heavily criticized by
he was.
The media after that. Foul right back.
You know, that was a big part of that inning that kept it rolling.
That's where, and look, we don't know the New York situation, how it works, but those two guys there you saw on your screen, Tito and Mike Barnett. Barney, I mean, as soon as there's anything remotely questionable, he's on that phone, letting Brad Mills know, hey, this is what I see, this is what we have.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they obviously have to make the decision whether to challenge or not. But those two have a really good working relationship along with Brad Mills, and you have to have trust in each other.
That's a stressful job when you're doing that, because you don't want to lose it if it's early in the game, and that might have been one of the reasons, because they weren't absolutely sure. But there's times where you have to take that chance because something like that can happen, and you don't want to look back on it and say, I should have challenged.
High pop-up, shallow right, in comes Hayward. Side retired. 1-0 Cleveland, middle of the second.
Everybody.
Indians fans, spring training is here, and on MLB TV, you can watch select spring training games live on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply for regular season games. Visit MLB.com for the details.
Jason Hayward will lead off for Chicago here in the home half of the second. Cubs serving as the home team. Popped him up. Fife, the pitcher, calling for it.
Attaboy. Well, you look at it, and it looked like Diaz coming in had a problem with the sun, so take it yourself. Why not? It really wasn't hit that high, and that's probably why. You can see, look at Diaz. You see him turn his head? He lost the whole thing, so he wouldn't have caught it. So take care of it yourself, big man.
Now Victor Caratini. Fife knows how to take charge. He was a high school quarterback. His dad played football at the University of Hawaii. Fouled right back. He spent some time at Everett Community College in Washington, not far from Seattle. He said he didn't start pitching until he was 17 years old.
Well, you would think that would go hand in hand, right? A quarterback, pitcher, throwing the ball.
I think he said something to the effect that it was after his senior football season when he realized, I'm not going to be a quarterback beyond high school, but pitching maybe. That might be my ticket. Shot fair by Caratini. The Cubs have their first hit. He's going to hold with a long single. Ball cut off by Rajay in left field.
Well, there you go. You get a pitch away, and I mean, he's way off the bag. You love to see that by a hitter. Shoot it the other way. You don't have to pull it. And you see where Diaz is playing? That's an easy base hit for him right there. Just taking it the other way.
Up high. Fife made his major league debut for the Dodgers back in July of 2012. Came in a game against the Philadelphia Phillies. He went 6 innings, and he gave up just 1 run on 4 hits. All right, back in. It's also interesting in that Fife went to spring training with the Cubs 2 years ago as a non-roster invite. And it was Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer and that whole crew had originally drafted him by the Red Sox. So a little bit of a reuniting moment. Up and in, knocked him off the plate. Ryan Court had to spin out of there in a hurry. Deep to right. Back is Bars. Looking up. It is gone. opposite field, 2-run homer, and the Chicago Cubs take a 2-1 lead.
Looking swing there by Ryan Court, man, staying on the baseball, and he let that ball track deep into the zone. And watch the swing from the side. You see how he just had that slight uppercut and caught it beautifully right down the line, gets over the fence. A 2-run shot will give the Cubs the lead.
Hanneman shows bunt, takes a strike. If you were not with us yesterday, the dimensions here at Cashman Field are rather small. It's 328 down the lines, only 364 to the alleys. It's 433 to straightaway central, but you can see it's a 20-foot wall all the way around.
Yeah, and it jumps here. You know, this is the light air. The ball jumps, even though that wind may be pushing it down a little bit. It didn't look like it pushed it down too much down the line.
Well, if it's going to carry anyway today, it looks like it might jump to right field by the way those flags are blowing. 2 down. Second strikeout for Fife. Looks like it's blowing in from left, but it might push the ball a little bit toward right field. As if you need any help out here to begin with.
You really don't. When it's windy, it's treacherous out here.
Chesney Young playing second base today and hitting 8th. Tapped out in front. Haas throws him out. And the inning is over. We've played 2 in Vegas. The Cubs 2, the Indians 1.
Well, grab some friends and enjoy a cold one while catching a game at Progressive Field. It's the $15 district ticket. So you get a standing room only ticket to the ballpark. You get a free drink. Tickets are going to go fast. It's always a hot item out there, so check it out.
For the Indians here in the third, Jason Kipnis, Mike Napoli, and Yandy Diaz. Left-hander Rob Zastryzny had some command issues in the first. He walked 2, gave up 2 hits, and the Indians scored a run, but he also struck out 3. Kipnis takes down low, ball 1. He didn't throw Kip a strike first time.
Well, and Kipnis wasn't even going to. He just stood up there, and he's having a tough time pitching to left-handers. He walked Zimmer too with the bases loaded. That's how the Indians got their run in the first.
Kipnis golfs one to right. Hayward on the move. What a play! Boy, that was spectacular effort by Jason Hayward.
Well, he had it timed perfectly because Kip hit that ball. I mean, he smoked it to right field. He finally throws him a strike, and he was waiting. And right in stride, look at, he gets a good jump on the ball on the backhanded side. He's a big, tall guy, reaches out, makes a fine running catch.
It's kind of like yesterday. I'm trying to remember who it was. Talk about hitting it to the wrong guy. It was Rajay. Remember, he smoked the ball to third, but Chris Bryant's the biggest third baseman maybe in baseball.
Made a leaping catch.
Mike Napoli called out on strikes. First time up. Low. And again, this is for Zastryzny a couple of times. Just loses command. Not like he's throwing it all over the place. Tough way to pitch, though, when you face a good lineup. If you're constantly 3-0, 3-1.
Yeah, you're pitching from behind in the count. You're right. You have to make quality pitches.
Ball 4. Third walk. 1 out base runner for Yandy Diaz. Cubs get some action in their bullpen. Dylan Maples getting loose. Yandy Diaz taking a strike. He had a base hit his first time up. He scorched a ball to short. And Addison Russell tried to make a backhanded play on it, but it ate him up. Now he shoots it to right field. Vintage Diaz right there on that swing. Napoli stops at second, and the Indians have 2 on with 1 out.
I mean, that's what he looks to do. And I mean, he hits a line drive. That ball was out over the plate. It was down, and he just laced it into right field. Look at that. That's hard to do when you hit a line drive like that. Shoots it the other way. But you can see center 20 times. He went up the middle 15. You can see that's his concentration level is the middle the other way.
Warming up in the Chicago Cub bullpen.
That's just incredible skill that is God-given, I would imagine. To be able to wait that long on a pitch. You mean you're hitting it sometimes just as it reaches your back knee.
But what they're going to have to do, but it was away from him. It wasn't inside. They're going to quit throwing him away, and they're going to force him to try and pull a ball and throw him inside until he proves he can swing and turn on the ball and get out of there. He'll get more pitches away. Now watch, this is away. And you see how it's deep into the zone. It's at the plate, if not a little farther back, and he lined it into right field.
Zimmer tied up, 1-1. Diaz, a guy that certainly is very intriguing. But where does he fit right now? 1-1. Just missed inside. You've got Jose Ramirez, who's in the All-Star running last year. So he's not going to replace him at third base. That's why I think they wanted to see if he could maybe play the outfield. Remember last year he played a game in Toronto in the outfield.
Yeah, the thing of it is, I think that he's going to end up having to play third base and do the best he can. He's got to get his stroke down to where he knows what he can do. And another walk to the left-hander.
Second time he's walked 2 in an inning, and the bases are loaded for the second time today. And with 1 out, Brandon Barnes, who struck out to end the inning in the first with the bases loaded, will get another shot. Barnes swings and misses. This was in the 9th inning of last night's game. Barnes drove one deep and out of here to left field.
Yeah, he got a pitch to his liking there, but so far, best he's been able to do is foul him off and straight back and come up empty the last 2 times. He struck out to end the first inning.
He's 0-2. Barnes of Southern California, went to the same high school as Jarrett Wright, Catella High School. Not far from Anaheim. Struck him out on 3 pitches, 2 down. Zastryzny, he's a guy that could maybe drive you crazy if you're a manager.
Yeah,
on a day like this, because when he's had to be good, he's been really good.
Well,
but he's put himself in a precarious spot.
He's given up 4 hits. He's walked 4, and he struck out 4.
That's a 3 of a kind, Arch.
Yes, it is, and that plays well in this town.
Well, Eric Haas trying to do some 2-out damage. High in the air, deep to right. Hayward looking up. It is gone to Souvenir City. A grand slam for Eric Haas. The Indians finally make Zastryzny pay for his wayward pitches.
Well, how How big was that hit? 2 outs, and he stayed on it, hit it high, and had some carry to right field. That goes to show you his power. And that's going to end the day, but boy, nice swing staying on it. He went through it and boy, drove that ball to right field and will drive in for a grand slam.
It's now 5-2 Cleveland. Zastryzny exits. A new pitcher for the Cubs when we come back. Back here at Cashman Field in Las Vegas, Nevada, where the Indians have turned the tables on the Cubs here in the third. A grand slam by Eric Haas chasing starter Rob Zastryzny. And now right-hander Dylan Maples coming on. Made his major league debut as a September call-up last year with the Cubs. Former 14th round pick back in 2011. Down low, ball one. Now Maples suffering from the same ailment as the starters of Zastryzny, just can't throw strikes. And it's 3-0.
Well, you have games like that. Every club does when you see it in spring training.
Bottom part of the zone. Maggi, an opposite field flare single to right. His first time up. And ball four. Fifth walk for Cubs pitchers here today.
You know, in his situation there, he fell behind 3-0 and throws a good fastball for a strike, and he's throwing, you know, in the mid-90s, and then comes back with a 3-1 breaking ball, and you almost have to throw him for strikes if you're gonna throw it in a count like that.
Rajai Davis waiting on deck. He'll be the 9th man to bat in the inning, should Lindor keep it alive. Frankie 0 for 2. Batting left-handed for the first time today. Swings through it. Maggi takes off. Got a good jump. No throw. Ball popped loose from the catcher, Victor Caratini.
Well, really didn't have a chance anyway, but he had a big lead and a big jump. Watch him. He read it beautifully. Off and running, the head down. Nothing Caratini could do. Second stolen base of the afternoon for the Indians.
Lindor chases. It's in the dirt. He'll try to beat it to first. And the throw is in time. Eric Haas turns it around for the Tribe here in the third with a grand slam, and the Indians are up 5-2. 5-2. Indians lead the Cubs. Bottom of the third coming up here. And we'll be back on the air Wednesday night. Indians Royals from Goodyear Ballpark in Arizona. Join us then for our final spring telecast before we head back home, regroup, and get ready to start the year.
That'll be in just about a week from after that game. 8 days.
Indians will open the year in Seattle at Safeco Field.
And everybody in baseball is starting on the same day. On Thursday.
Bunted foul.
Which is what, the first time since 1968 that everybody has played on the same day.
On opening day.
On
really?
opening day, yes.
How about that?
It's weird to have you'll have a Friday off. At least we will.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll play Saturday and Sunday before we head down the coast.
Well, what's really strange is to have an off day with the Dome.
Right. That is true. But somebody, who was it that we were talking to, will have Sunday off?
Ground ball in the hole. Backhanded. Eric Steinmetz with a long throw. Napoli can't quite scoop it out. And on his way to second base is Charcer Burks. So the Cubs get their leadoff man aboard. Steinmetz did a heck of a job to get to the ball. But it's such a long throw across. And Napoli tried to go for the long scoop. Couldn't kind of come up with it.
You got to plant and throw, and a lot of that is the toughest play as a shortstop. Try and get it there. But we've seen times where Lindor will bounce the ball when you get over there. You know what I'm saying? A one hopper to the first baseman, like an outfielder trying to throw it into a cutoff man and keep it down and use the ground as a friend.
Steinmetz taking over for Lindor at shortstop. Fouled right back. I don't believe there are any other changes for the Indians. Fouled right back. Anthony Rizzo struck out in the first. Look at those numbers. You talk about consistency. 31, 32, 32 home runs. Over 100 ribbies every year. I remember a game, Rick, we were doing a couple years ago at Wrigley. And I don't recall who was pitching for the Tribe. But Rizzo hit a home run or a double deep down the right field line on a ball that was in off the plate. And you said, you can't keep that ball fair, and somehow he did.
Yes, he's one. Well, he's right on the plate. But he's one guy, if anybody can, it's almost like when you hit that ball, you expect it to hook, and it's going to hook foul. But I remember the hit you're talking about.
Oh-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. And Stephen Fife rings up Rizzo for the second time today.
Little curveball action instead of that cutter. He usually throws a hard cutter in, and he got him the first time. But this time he went with a curveball and came down and got the strikeout. So that was a nice pitch selection there.
Chris Bryant grounded out. His only time up in the first. Broken bat job, center field, and it will not be caught. But Zimmer did a good job of trying to hold the runner up. He throws home. Good throw in time. Got him. Oh, what a sensational throw by Bradley Zimmer from center field. And there are two down in the inning.
Yeah, no question about it. He knew it, and that ball just got over the mound, and it skimmed on the ground, and then made Haas was able to collect it with two hands. He had time to catch it and then apply the tag, but he's got a cannon out there, and it just skipped off the mound, the downside of the mound. If it's about 2 feet further, it bounces straight up in the air, but a good throw. And he says, I'm going to go. He hesitated briefly, just enough for Zimmer's cannon to nail him. Good throw.
And so two down. Addison Russell. The batter tried to hold up. He went around. It's a strike. Now Zimmer, dynamite defensively last year with so many great plays, highlight reel plays. We had a chance, or I had a chance to sit down with him earlier this spring. Our Indians Live producer Mike Bachman brought a little video recorder, and we showed him some of the great plays he made last year, so he was able to watch it. and then talk to us and kind of take us through the play, what he was thinking, what was going on. And so we'll have that feature for you during the season coming up. And it was interesting.
You know what he just did, it doesn't happen a lot much anymore. Hard to throw guys out from center field, scoring on base hits. But he was able, he had a good jump on that ball. But he has a great throwing arm, and he keeps the ball down. That one just, it was a little laser. It wasn't more than 7-8 feet off the ground, it didn't seem like.
Swung on and missed. Fife works out of trouble here in the third. And the Indians lead it 5-2 thanks to Bradley Zimmer's cannon in center field. It cuts down a would-be Cub run at the plate. All right, we've got some defensive changes to tell you about for the Chicago Cubs. At first base, it's Yasiel Bellinger. David Bodie is now at second base, and Chesney Young, who was at second, has moved over to short.
Chesney Young moves from second base to shortstop.
So, Rajay Davis to the plate, and this makes a lot of sense. The reason Lindor was the only change for the Indians defensively is because he got to bat for the third time. So Tio will probably make his defensive changes as each guy that needs 3 at-bats today passes that threshold. Rajay takes it to strike. He singled, stole a base, and scored in the first. Flied to right his last time up. Well, breaking ball hit to first. Bellinger just into the game. Makes the play. And Jason Kipnis coming up. He walked in the first, and then he was truly a victim of theft in the third on a fine running leaping catch in right field by Jason Hayward. But it's been very good to see, as you pointed out at the top of the show, a healthy Jason Kipnis doing everything that he needs to do to get himself ready for the season. And that has also, I think, led to a more positive and upbeat Jason Kipnis. Look, injuries are tough. And when you can't play, you're not happy, you're stuck in purgatory.
He's been through this before, though. He's had years where he's been injured and had to come back, and he had a down year when he was injured. But when he's healthy, he seems to be fine, and let's just hope he can stay healthy this year. That's everybody's goal when you're going into a season. And you talk to any player on any team, they just say, we got to get through spring training healthy and we should be fine. But, it doesn't always work out that way. We see a number of injuries. I'm already looking at the Seattle Mariners this spring. They've got guys going down daily, with hamstrings and quads and this and that. So you never know.
It's that time of year. Golden State, the Warriors seem like they're dropping a player every game.
Well, they got time to rest then and get ready.
Yeah. Not like it really hurts them that bad. They seem to find a way to win anyway. I was talking to Kip earlier this spring, Rick, and he said to me that some guys told him last year that he wasn't the same. Not because he was hurt, not because of his play, but they just said something was different. And he said, I might have kind of lost some of his edge. He's a guy that, look, for as long as he's been playing sports, they told him you're not big enough, you're not this, you're not that. And that gave him a drive, sort of a little bit of an attitude. And he said, maybe I just kind of lost it a little bit, but it's back. And that's really good for this ball club.
Well, that's the toughest thing to do when you've been in the game a number of years. You can't take anything for granted. And the older you get, the harder you have to work to maintain that edge. And you learn it, you go through it. And sometimes you have to learn hard lessons.
You saw Melvin Upton Jr. come into the game. He's running for Kipnis. And Mike Napoli at the plate. Struck out, walked, scored a run so far today. See if Upton's going to try to take off here.
I was keeping an eye on him too, because again, his game is speed too, and has to utilize those legs. And he's getting older, but he's still in very good shape. And doesn't look like an ounce of fat on him.
I was going to say, You look at Rajay Davis and you look at Melvin Upton Jr. and they don't look physically anything alike.
Right.
But that speed comes in different packages. Rajay's built more like a NFL halfback, and Upton looks like a wide receiver. Actually looks more like an NBA player with that thin frame of his. Upton's an interesting guy because, you know, there have been years in the past where he's shown some power, strikes out a lot, can still go get him in the outfield. Missed inside.
Quick question for both of you
Yeah.
guys. Do you guys think Upton is being more aggressive on the bases because of the competition he's in?
I think, Rondre, it goes back to what Tito said. They need to see it. They need to see if it's still there. So he probably is aware of that and understands he's got to show everything that's in his arsenal.
Yeah, it's getting to that time of the spring where you have to go out and you have to do it. If you work on your way, if you're a base stealer, you got to start working on running now. And the score doesn't dictate it. You've got to do it on your own.
Three-one pitch. Napoli takes it. It's ball four. And yet another walk. So that's already 3 walks issued by Maples.
Right. Now we'll get a pinch runner for Knapp. So this is going to be a 2 at-bat day and fly on getaway day in Las Vegas.
See the pinch runner, Joe Seaver, coming on for Knapp. And Yandy Diaz, who's already 2 for 2 at the plate. Diaz pulled the ball his first time up and sent a scorching line drive to short that handcuffed Addison Russell for a base hit. Last time up, he drove a line drive into right field. Shoots it the other way again. That's a base hit. Upton's coming around third, going to be waiting home. Hayward's got a great arm throw to the plate. Not in time. Thrown on to third, safe there as well. And the Indians add a run to their lead. It's 6-2 Cleveland.
Well, he does it again. Diaz going the other way. And this time it was a fastball. Goes in there, and Hayward with a very good throwing arm. It was right on target at the plate, but they didn't have time to get Upton. He scores, and they try to throw behind the third base. He will move up.
Yandy's day is over. Todd Hankins comes on to run at first for Diaz. And Bradley Zimmer steps in for the Tribe. He has walked twice. Picked up an RBI because he walked with the bases loaded in the first, and then came around to score in the third on the grand slam by Eric Haas. Zimmer takes a strike. Mike Sarbaugh coaching at third. Got some action today. The Indians didn't have much doing yesterday.
No, sir. It was Jose Quintana day.
Down low. What a difference a day makes, though. You're right. Quintana was pinpoint with his control. He looked like it was a June or July game where he was locked in mid-season form. Didn't walk a batter. Today, Cubs pitchers just can't throw strikes.
Yeah, they have 7 walks. Three of those 7 have come around to score.
Cubs have a left-hander up in the bullpen. Alberto Baldonado. Runner goes at first. Hankins got a great jump. They won't even throw. And that's the third stolen base today for Cleveland.
And all of them uncontested with no throws. So, you know, that goes to show you the jumps they're getting over there on some of these pitchers.
Second and third, one out, and the payoff pitch to Zimmer. Oh, strike three call. Locked him up with a backdoor breaking ball. And I'll tell you what, if you're Zimmer,
well, it's close. I will say that it's close. It's one you're maybe not looking for, and it's easy for a left-hander to give up on that pitch because you don't think it's going to come in and catch the outside corner, but it did. He will go down as a strikeout victim.
Well, I was going to say, Arch, is when a guy's having a tough time throwing strikes, it makes it a little tougher to maybe lock in and look for a particular, but you don't know where he's
they're
going
all
with
over
it.
the place. You're right. It certainly happens. That it can. They're all over.
And that's probably the last pitch you're looking for, 3-2 in that situation.
He makes it a pretty good pitch.
And then Brandon Barnes comes up and says, everybody else is walking. I've seen nothing but strikes today. He has struck out his first 2 times up. The crazy nature of this game sometimes. Everybody's telling you, make sure he throws you a strike. And you go up there, it's like, he's not throwing me anything but strikes. And he's out on 3 pitches. So the inning is over. Indians get another run thanks to Yandy Diaz, who has had a 3-hit afternoon. And the Indians lead at 6-2.
Goodbye.
Well, say big on single game prices. You can get access to our summer season ticket autograph party and plenty more with a Tribe season ticket plan. You can get 20, 40, or 81 game plans that are available to you. You don't want to miss out on the action. Go to Indians.com for more details.
We go now to the bottom of the 4th. Stephen Fife has pitched 3 innings. He's given up 3 hits, a couple of runs, came on a 2-run homer in the second. He has struck out 3, hasn't walked a batter. And it's a strike.
Joe Summer remains in the game at first base. Todd Higgins remains in the game at third base.
Popped up, foul, back out of play.
Left fielder for Cleveland is number 53, Greg Allen. The right fielder for Cleveland is number 46, Mike Pop.
Hayward strikes out. I'll tell you what, Fife's been pretty impressive. That's 5 strikeouts now for the right-hander.
A little changeup down in a way that he gets him to chase after. That ball had some good movement.
Chopped to short, backhanded. Stamets, perfect throw that time. Great stretch too at first base.
Yes, it was.
And there are 2 down. And defensively now you take a look at what the Indians have out there. Kai Tom is now in center field. Greg Allen in left. Mike Pappy in right. Popped up foul. That's going to reach the seats down the right side.
Yeah, Ryan Court did the damage to him back in the second inning. A 2-run home run to right field. Put a good swing on the ball and got the Cubs on the board.
Pulled foul. Spun him out of there. And that was a pretty good looking pitch, but Ed Hickox did not call it a strike. 2-2. Baseball is a crazy game in the sense that you talk to anybody that's ever played it, and they will tell you it will humble you in a heartbeat. And nobody knows that more than Stephen Fife, who was in the big leagues, then had Tommy John surgery, and within a span of a year, he went from being in the big leagues to bartending.
Yeah.
He was literally working as a bartender, but he has fought his way all the way back and making a strong bid to make this ball club so far this spring. 6 Ks for the right-hander today.
What's the
beautiful shot just outside of Las Vegas, Nevada.
I don't think you'd go out walking in there, would you?
We're talking the Mojave Desert now, right?
Yeah, well, you wouldn't go out there, would you? When it's warm, the rattlesnakes would be out there for you, my friend.
No.
I know you wouldn't go out there.
Thank you. Corey Mazzoni is the new pitcher for the Cubs. First year in the Cubs system. Last year with the Padres. Made his major league debut in 2015 with San Diego. He was originally a second-round pick of the Mets back in 2011 out of North Carolina State. Eric Haas with a grand slam back in the 3rd inning. And it was a no-doubter. Pulls that foul. And you can see, Rick, as you pointed out, his first at bat, he gets up there and swings it with authority.
I was watching him take batting practice today, and I'm telling you what, he doesn't get cheated. He gets out there and he swings the exact same in batting practice, and has worked hard this spring with Sandy Alomar. And you know, he says, I want to be like a sponge when I'm in the big league camp. He asks questions to Gomes, with Perez and everybody, and I mean, this kid wants it. He's worked hard, and he's really opened up a lot of eyes here. And watch this swing. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and ends up juicing the ball to right field, man. A big hit in the ball game, and he has had a nice spring.
Fouled right back to the screen. 2-2.
You know, and he looks like a catcher. You know, he's big, he's burly, he's got the big legs, and he's a very good receiver.
Tell you what, he's put himself in a great position to where I think they know if they need somebody, if something happens, he's the guy they can count on. Line to short, and it's picked right before it hit the grass. 1 down. Well, Andre Knott had a chance to catch up with Rajai Davis after he left the game today.
Thanks, guys. Raj, Sunday, we're in Las Vegas. First guy I see out down left field line was you.
Yeah.
Why and how did you get yourself ready for this weekend?
Well, I'm a little older guy, so I can't stay out like the younger guys and recover. So I just got my rest, and I was came in. I'm just really preparing for the season. I want to help us win, and I'm doing what I can to get my body in playing condition. So that's what I'm doing along here.
After being away for a year, being back with this team, do you get acclimated just like you were a couple of years ago? And how different and how nice is it to be back with a group of guys you know so well?
Yeah, it's like family reunion. You know, you can be away from your family for so long, but when you get back together. together. You know, it's all fun, all jokes, all, you know, and, you know, guys, I mean, you create that bond, especially when you play that long during the course of one season. You get to know each other, and you form a family bond, and, you know, that's what we form.
I picked up something cool. Your last at bat, Tito grabbed you and said, hey, if you get on base, do you want me to take you out? You said no. Why is that?
Well, I mean, I like to run, you know. I like to show them I can run. Especially at 3'7", I want to be able to, you know, rub it in somebody's face. But you know, I just want to. I mean, anybody they're going to bring in is going to be slower than me. So.
So you want to show them how slow they are. But most players at 37 want to save a couple bullets. You don't see it that way, though.
I guess I'm a little different. I feel like I'm 27 or maybe 25.
Well, let me know how you can make all of us feel that way.
It's the secret. Got the secret sauce.
I like it. We'll find it out. We appreciate the time, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back up to you guys.
Well, Andre, you better find out that secret. I got to tell you that.
Well, he's only a couple of years younger than you are, and he said, I'm not the young guy anymore, so I got to get my rest. Write that down.
We all should write that down, yes. But he says he's got the secret sauce. I got to figure that one out.
I love what he said. Hey, I want to show him I can run, and because anybody that goes in there is going to be slower than me. And he's right.
But how many vets would say that?
None.
I'm not going to tell on anybody down here, but he's the only one that I've heard say, I want to stay in when I get on base.
That's beautiful.
Well, that is his game. That's where he creates, though. Eric Steinmetz with the infield in, trying to get that run home from third. Drew Maggi sent a deep ball to center field, and you could see the center fielder kind of circle around it and never really got
I'll tell you what, that wind took that ball and it blew it right away from him. He had a long run. He thought he was going to catch up to it, and it just kept going away from him and going away from him.
Down low, Steinmetz lays off. Three-two pitch, and he got him with a high fastball. And there are two down. Take another look at that ball that Drew Maggi hit, and just watch Hanneman in center field.
Watch where he starts, okay? Right center, he's running. He thinks he has it. He thinks he has it. He never can really get there, you know, because he wasn't sure, and that's the wind. And then you're looking up in the sun and that sky, and it's really difficult. I don't care who you are out there. You have got to get to that spot first when it's that windy.
Greg Allen, who came on for Rajay. Tell you, Dre, it might be a pretty good competition here. We could maybe sell tickets. And Greg Allen and Rajay Davis, you know, he said that whoever they bring in, not going to be as fast as Raj, but Allen, he can get down the line in a hurry.
Zimmer can run.
I was just going to say.
Oh, did that hit him?
I think it did.
Caught him on the heel. And
that may slow him down.
That'll send him down first.
You were going to say Zim, too.
Yeah,
huh?
Zim, absolutely, with those strides.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I think, to me, it's exciting when you watch guys run the bases but take pride in it, and they do a good job at doing it. I mean, when you see them cut angles and they run from home, let's say to third, or from first to home, or on first to third, that's exciting. That's fun to watch. You know, guys like to hit the ball hard and they don't like to run hard. But, I mean, when you're a fast runner and take pride in it, it's a treat to watch.
Sounds like you're talking about Jose Ramirez. You know, they may not be the fastest, but he and Lindor.
Well, I know it. I just like guys that run the bases hard and they take pride in it. And that's a big part of the game until when you see somebody thrown out or they don't steal a base or they make a mistake base running, that's when you hear it. And the guys that get blamed are the base coaches. It should be the players.
Well, what's that balance? Because we watched Ramirez a couple years ago get thrown out a lot.
Allen had a jump, and now he's stuck. He's in a rundown, and now coming home from third, and Maggi is safe. Drew beats the tag, and the Indians add to their lead 7-2.
Well, he bailed them out. He bailed them out. because after he got picked off, the first baseman's going to turn around and look back. And by the time he can throw home, Maji's on the way, and it was close. It looked like he might have tagged him, but he goes outside, gets that head, and maybe just missed the tag from that angle. Good hustle. But he saved Allen.
And now Upton dumps one into right field. A base hit coming around third. Greg Allen's going to try to score it. He will without a throw. So the speed really pays dividends for the Tribe here in the fifth. Maji hustling into third to open the inning with the one-out triple. And then Greg Allen burning all the way around the bags to score on this base hit.
Yeah, that was just a breaking ball down in a way that he just serves it the other way. Off the end of the bat.
8-2 Cleveland. What I was going to say is you guys are having that conversation about the base running. I used to think that speed is just speed. And then the more I watch this game, the more I realize speed is one asset, but base running is more about intelligence and instincts more than anything else.
And, you know, I didn't follow up with Andre, and he says, what happened to Ramirez? He was just so aggressive. He believed he could keep going and they wouldn't tag him out. But a lot of times there's nothing wrong with getting thrown out, because that's how you learn when you can go and how you can go, and situations are what dictate when you can be aggressive out on the bases. When you have a lead or you're ahead, you can be a little more aggressive than if you're losing. You don't want to make it out on the bases. So it's something you have to learn as a young player.
Misplay at third, and he's safe at first. So Joe Sever is safe at first base because the third baseman, Court, just never came up with it cleanly. Well, he did. He just dropped it there.
Well, yeah, he had the ball and then drops it, and by the time he could pick it up, didn't have his feet underneath him and had to just throw the ball without striding and going that way, and it was off target. So that'll go as an error.
Inning continues for Todd Hankins. Hard hit ball into left field. That's a base hit. Here comes Upton. Here comes the throw. Not in time. Another run home for the Indians. They've scored 3 in the fifth. And they've blown it open. Now lead at 9-2.
Yeah, today it's the Indians that are getting base hits all over the ballpark. This line drive gets into left field, and you know, you're going to send them. Upton scores easily. The throw's offline. You know, not a very good throw at all.
Kai Tom will bat now for the Indians. And a strike called. Corey Mazzoni should be out of the inning, but boy, the extra outs prove so costly in baseball. Down on the dirt. The Indians committed an error in the third inning, and it took a great defensive play to bail him out. Otherwise, that would have cost him a run. Swing and a miss. Count 1-2. Indians scored a run in the first on a bases loaded walk by Bradley Zimmer. Then 4 in the third on the grand slam by Eric Haas. 1 in the fourth, an RBI knock by Yandy Diaz. And now 3 home here in the fifth. Down low, 2-2. Only 2 runs for the Cubs came in the second on a 2-run home run by Ryan Court. And again, it was his error here in this inning that has kept it alive for Cleveland. Up and away. Runners go. And a slashing ball hit into left field. Another run is home. 10-2 Indians. That was a really pretty inside-out swing by Kai Tom.
Well, the runners with the full count off and running, it's down, and he just drops the head of the bat. He stayed on that baseball and sliced it to left field. And it's just one of those days, everything they hit is finding a hole, much like what the Cubs did yesterday.
Yeah, this has been a complete role reversal from yesterday.
Yesterday they did it with the power, with the the extra base hits, and they were hitting the ball with authority. The Indians, they're finding spots. Everything they're hitting is finding a hole. You get that lead, now you relax a little bit, and you just go up to. It's almost like you're taking batting practice. Let's go get a good pitch to hit and let it go. And they've mixed in some walks. They played some shabby defense, and that is why the Indians have 10 runs.
Mike Pappy gets his first at bat today. And he is the 9th man to bat in the inning. The Indians sent 7 men to the plate in the first inning, 8 men to the plate in the third, and now 9 here in the 5th. Off the foot. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Indians and Cubs will meet home and home during the regular season. 2 games in Cleveland will be on April 24th and 25th. And then Tribe will go to Wrigley Field May 22nd, May 23rd. A little bit low. In terms of interleague play this year, the Indians will also visit St. Louis this year in the summer to play the Cardinals. That's in the last week of June. And they will also head to Milwaukee, and that's another 2-gamer, isn't it?
Yes.
There's another liner, and that's going to drop for a hit. Coming around third. Hankins will try to score. He will. On his way to third is Kai Tom. The carousel continues. The Indians have batted around, and they battered the Cubs with a 4 spot here in the 5th. That's going to be it for pitcher Corey Mazzoni.
Well, that's what it's turning into. A little batting practice and base running practice. They're going first to third. They're getting clutch hits. Everything they're hitting is finding the grass. And that afternoon's going to be over for Mazzoni.
So timeout here in Las Vegas, where the Indians are running roughshod over the Cubs today, 11-2. Well, the Cavs and the Bucks will tip it off Monday night, 6:30 Eastern time on Fox Sports Ohio. Fred, AC, Allie, they'll have the call. Coming down the stretch here in the NBA season, as well as the NHL season with the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, winding down.
New pitcher for the Cubs, Alberto Baldonado. Left-hander looking for the 3rd out of this 5th inning, in which the Indians have scored 5 times now. And 1st and 3rd for the Indians. This inning is taking so long that it began with Eric Haas leading off. And now Murphy takes over for Haas. Haas sent a line drive to short that was caught.
Yeah, they got that triple. Maggi to right center field. They got the second out. And then 6 straight have reached.
Murphy can't hold up. Cubs have helped out a little bit too. A hit batter, an error, part of the 6 straight that have reached. Fouled right back. In the dirt. Nice job by Caratini just to keep it in front of him. That keeps a run from scoring, but in the scoring position goes Pappy as he moves up to second.
Well, there's a spiked breaking ball right there, and I don't even know if he was looking at it when he blocked it.
That's not exactly textbook form.
That's a save right there. That's like a goalie right there that saves one from going in the net without even seeing it.
2 on, 2 out, 2-2 pitch to Murphy. In the dirt, full count. Three-two. Ground ball to second. And the inning is over. But not before the Indians bust it open. 5 runs, 5 hits, 11-2 Cleveland.
Well, Tribe 6-packs are on sale, including a new weekday afternoon option starting at just $99. You can make Progressive Field your office for the day. 6-packs are also available for 6 Friday, Saturday, or Sunday games as well.
Tyler Olson coming on a pitch for the Tribe. Left-hander has the bottom third of the order for the Cubs due up. Jacob Hanneman leads off, spins out of the way for ball 1. Olson a year ago pitched in 30 games. Really, you can't ask for much more than an ERA of 0.
That's going to be tough to match.
But what he did, he put himself in a position to be counted on, and now Terry Francona and Carl Willis feel like he's a guy that can be that really key second left-hander in the bullpen for him. 1-1 pitch in there for a strike.
Yeah, and he's not a guy that just is a matchup guy to get left-handers. He can also get right-handers out, and he did last year, and that makes you that much more valuable.
Got him. Nice pitch by Olson. That's 7 strikeouts for Cleveland pitching here today.
The shortstop, Chesney Young.
Chesney Young is 0 for 1. Well, the Indians have used the big inning here in Vegas, a grand slam by Eric Haas in the 3rd inning, and then a 5-run 5th. Back in Goodyear, it's the big inning that has helped the Indians go out to an 11-2 lead over Seattle. Sound familiar?
Really? 11-2? No kidding.
Yan Gomes with a grand slam in that game.
Wow.
And Yonder Alonso is also homered for the Tribe. Indians beating up Rob Whalen, who got the start for Seattle, and he was in the running for potentially the 5th spot in the Seattle starting rotation. So not a bad day for the Indians offensively so far,
well,
with 22 runs on the board. On
a couple of grand slams, both by catchers.
Yeah. Gomes also has an RBI single in that game, so he's driven in 5 in the afternoon.
Well, he was DH in there because he stayed home because he had some arm problems. Yeah, and they were just going to rest it a little bit so he can get it geared up. But he's taken to that DH role very well, hasn't he?
Arm feels great, Coach.
Yeah, right. You're not lugging that mask and the shin guards around all day long.
That's the first walk issued by Indians pitching. Young to first, and Charcer Burks steps in.
Charcer Burks.
Slowly chopped to second. Maggi will go to first. Gets the out, 2 down. Young in the scoring position. You know, Rick, I will say it from our center field camera, it's been a little bit odd when you look at and there's no backstop.
Yeah.
You know, usually there's at least a little bit of a half wall,
3
or something.
foot. Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's a good shot there because now maybe you can get an idea sometimes where some players, infielders, outfielders, when balls are hit and their line drives, they blend into some of the jerseys, the whites and the stuff, and it's tough to pick it up because there's not a true background, you know, back there where you can get a really good look at the baseball. You may lose it for a split second.
It's also one of those things, I don't know how common that is among AAA ballparks, but you know, as a base runner, you come here, ball gets by the catcher, you go. You're not going to get the ball kicking back to the catcher.
Right, it's not going to come back. Right, it's going to hit that little netting and drop dead.
Hit hard to third, fair, down the line, into the Indians bullpen. That's going to get a run home. And Bellinger into second base with an RBI double.
Keeps it inside the bag at third as it gets down into the corner. So a 2-out hit will play the run for the Cubs. Make it an 11-3 game.
Chris Jimenez serving as the new DH for Chicago as he takes over for Chris Bryant. Jimenez is trying to win a spot on this club as their backup catcher. He was a non-roster invitation guy here with the Cubs in spring training. I'll tell you, Rick, just thinking about Jimenez last year with Minnesota, has there been a busier general manager this offseason?
He's been one of them over there in Minnesota,
yeah.
yes. Then Derek?
Our buddy Derek Falvey. Here's a liner to center. And Kai Tom plays it perfectly to retire the side. Cubs get a run home. 5 complete. 11-3 Indians. There's the heart of the strip, Las Vegas, Nevada. There's the famed Mirage Hotel just on the left side of your screen. Caesar's Palace.
That's Andre's playground.
I always remember that. What was the movie? Gosh, I can't think of the name. I'm blanking out here. Remember Zach Galifianakis? They go into Caesar's Palace and he said, "Did Caesar live here?"
Yes.
The Hangover. Oh, yeah. Alberto Maldonado got the final out of the 5th inning. Stays on the pitch here in the 6th. He'll face Drew Maggi, Eric Stamets,
New catcher for the Chicago
Greg
Cubs
Allen.
is number 64, Ali Solis.
New catcher for Chicago, Ali Solis. Swung on and missed. Maldonado blowing it up there at 93 miles an hour. And it's 2-2.
Warming up at the Cleveland Indian bullpen, number 57, Carlos Torres.
Tied him up. And Solis able to hold on to the foul tip. 1 down. Andre Knott caught up with Indians catcher Eric Haas after he left the game earlier today.
Thanks, guys. Eric, what has your first big league camp been like so far?
It's been open arms about everything. You know, I've come up with these guys before, you know, so even though it's my first big league camp, I'm comfortable being around all the guys. You know, they just been really welcoming. We got a great group of guys here, so it's been pretty easy.
For you, last season, you put up some big numbers down in Akron. Everybody talks about Mejia, and obviously we all know about him, but what was it like kind of splitting time with him last year and being able to have both of you guys have success?
Yeah, I kind of came into that season with that same mindset, you know, knowing that my my ABs weren't going to be every day. You know, I knew it was going to be sparse, so I tried to take my practice a little bit more seriously. And you know, when they gave me those opportunities, I felt like I was ready to actually perform in those opportunities instead of, you know, maybe sitting and complaining about it. I figured I'd just, you know, be ready for the chance.
Whether it's March, May, or June, anytime you got 3 guys on base and you put one over the fence, it's got to feel good.
Oh yeah, I'll take that any day of the week. You know, I'm going good and I'm going to the right side of the field. So, you know, finally starting to heat up, get a little more ABs under my belt, and, you know, feel pretty good about spring.
What has it been like for you? You're making some noise now. Everybody knows the catchers on the big league club. But what does it feel like knowing that you can have some success up here and you're getting a little bit closer?
I think I'm just keeping the same mindset that I rolled in with last year, too. You know, it's like just stay ready for that opportunity if it comes. And, you know, like I said, the staff, I feel really comfortable with them before. So, you know, when that time comes, I'll feel good, you know, going into it.
What's it like having that time being around Sandy Alomar and the time that you can be around him? And, you know, he became kind of popular out here when he was in the minors.
Yeah. No, he's been great. I mean, I try to pick his brain about anything and everything. I mean, when you got a resource like that, I'm trying to utilize every minute I can with him. So I'm doing all my early work with him and whatnot. So, you know, when I can just, anytime I have to talk to him, I'm trying to take advantage of it.
Eric, we appreciate the time. Keep up the great work, man.
Thanks, Andre. Appreciate it.
You got it. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Andre.
Nice attitude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what you want to do. He's not over, you know, stressed. He's appreciating it, and I like what he said. When I knew I'm not going to get as many at-bats, so I really take my practice seriously. So you're trying to get something out of every day, even if you're not playing in a game. So he's got the right mindset and a good attitude.
He really does.
It sounds like he's having fun.
Yeah, and he's just got the perfect perspective, knowing that what this game is about is waiting for your opportunity, but being ready when that opportunity comes. Greg Allen pops it up, foul. I don't know if this will stay in or not. Let's see.
He even knew Andre's name, too. That surprised me.
1, 2, 3. The Indians go down in order. They lead it by 8.
Your friend.
It's a few members of our TV crew looking for their hotel rooms here in Las Vegas. 11-3, Cleveland leading the Cubs here this afternoon. Right-hander Carlos Torres coming out of pitch now. Last year with the Brewers, Torres pitched in 67 games. You know, he's been a really reliable guy pitching out of the bullpen, and that's one of the things that Tito finds intriguing about Torres. Now, the question, as we have talked about a number of times, is what's the final composition of the roster going to look like, and is there room for a player like Torres? He's 35 years old, but he's averaged 68 appearances a season over the last 4 years. So that durability is very attractive, knowing that you can count on a guy. And knowing also, Arch, somebody's got to pick up the slack with Brian Shaw no longer here in the bullpen.
Well, that's true. Someone's going to have to do that. They're going to have to find somebody to weather the storm. But, you know, there's a guy, and it happens with the relievers a lot. When you're used a lot, I think he's been down in velocity the last year or so because he has been used. When he's had a couple good years in Milwaukee, that velocity was at about 93.
Yeah, 2 years ago he had an ERA of 2.73.
Yeah, and he was getting it up there, and he had good movement on his ball. And sometimes, you know, they get overworked, and the arm gets a little tired, and they lose a little velocity, and you know they end up giving up more hits and maybe not as effective.
Now Carlos Torres has pitched with the White Sox, the Rockies, the Mets, the Brewers. Throw a stop in Asia in there, and that's just his last 8 years. Swing and a miss. He's got a strikeout here.
Well, single game tickets now on sale. Weekend games, of course, and dollar dog nights and other premier games are going quickly, so you better hurry and get your tickets now. Just go to Indians.com for the details.
Mark Zagunis. Batting here in the 6th inning with 1 out, bases empty. Breaking ball down low. Fastball, and you talked about the velocity. He likes to cut that fastball as well. He'll sink it. And that breaking ball that you've seen him throw a number of times, that's a good pitch for him when he's going well. Boy, that was a good cutter. Looked like right over the outside. Just a little movement off the dish.
Let's take a look and see that movement away. It starts on the outside part, and just late, it takes off away from the barrel of the bat.
Swung on and missed, blew it by him. Back-to-back Ks for Torres.
The catcher, Ali Solis.
Ali Solis steps in with 2 down and the base is empty. Just outside for ball 1. Mike Clevenger pitching in that game back in Goodyear. 4 innings, a couple of runs, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts in his 4 innings of work.
Wow.
That one ran in off the plate. You know, another guy's had a pretty good spring that we haven't talked a lot about because we've had so much attention focused on Rajay coming back, Melvin Upton Jr. But Tyler Naquin, he's got 3 hits today. He's hit .282 on the spring.
You know,
that's ball 4.
I know, but the one thing about Naquin is a left-handed bat. You know, with all the left-handed hitters that the Indians have out there.
Yeah, with Lonnie Chisenhall, Bradley Zimmer.
Ryan.
And Michael Brantley when he comes back.
Right.
You know, that's what I'm saying in the long haul. Not that, and I think Zim has had a pretty good spring. I mean, Naquin.
Yeah. Foul right back. Ryan Court with a good hack. Just upstairs. We mentioned yesterday that last year the Cubs had this big league weekend. They scored 11 runs in the first game of the series and then 22 runs in the second game. So this ballpark has lived up to its billing in terms of offense. Cubs. Yeah. They had the big bats working last night, and the Indians have returned the favor with 11 runs here today. Down low.
Everybody got your hands.
Back out of play.
Everybody got your hands.
Carlos Torres came on, struck out the first 2 hitters, then walked the catcher who takes off here. And a line drive is short, caught by Eric Stamets. That'll retire the side, and we'll move on to the 7th inning. 11-3 Cleveland. It's Golden Knights, and they are beating up the Flames right now 4-0 in the 3rd period. But big game on Monday. Bruins, Blue Jackets. As Columbus roaring down the stretch trying to secure a postseason playoff spot. Blue Jackets live at 6:30. And the face-off with Jeff Rimmer, Jody Shelley at 7 o'clock. And it's also streaming on Fox Sports Go as well. Alec Mills is the new Chicago pitcher. On for the last year he had 7 starts. 3 different levels of the minor leagues. He was a 22nd round pick. Melvin Upton Jr. leading off for Cleveland. Oh, we're just looking out in center field. Looks like a bird sanctuary behind the Chicago center fielder.
Maybe somebody threw a bag of seeds out there, sunflower seeds, and they're getting after them.
Upton with a ground ball on the right side. It's scooped. 1-0. All right, Andre Knott checking in with Tyler Olson, who pitched earlier today.
Thanks, guys. Tyler, were you able to sit back last year in the offseason and look at what your numbers were, and did it blow you away at all that you didn't give up a run?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely, a special year, a good opportunity for me to come out and just, show what I can do and go out there and compete and have fun.
After the success of last year, do you do camp any differently, kind of knowing that there's a spot on the team for you this year?
No, I mean, I've never taken anything for granted. I come in the same way I do every year, and that's, to show what I can do and so hopefully, show that I can impact the team and go out there and, pitch.
Having some success last year on the big league level, what does that do to your confidence? And did you learn anything else about yourself as a pitcher?
I think I definitely learned, what works for me and how I'm going to attack hitters and the importance of, locating pitches and getting ahead and getting guys out as quick as possible.
I was talking to Tito and a few others a few weeks ago about what Mickey Callaway brought, and he said it was just confidence and making you guys confident in what you had. Was that true for you as well with what you did with Mickey?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing that he said to me at the end of spring last year was just go out there and challenge and throw the ball down the middle of the plate and let the action do the work. And that was huge for me to just go out there and have that mindset of being on the attack all the time.
Tyler, appreciate the time, man.
Thank you.
All right, back to you guys.
Thank you, Andre. Joe Sever with an opposite field smash off the wall in right field. He's got it 1-out double here in the 7th inning as the Indians just continue to wrap out hit after hit. That's a dozen knocks on the day.
I like the wristbands Andre's rocking today. Speaking of, got matching red wristbands.
Is he Dusty Baker?
I know it.
Todd Hankins takes a look. It's outside ball 1. Indians scored a run on the first, 4 in the third, 1 on the fourth, 5 in the fifth. The only home run for the Indians was a grand slam by Eric Haas in the third. They've done most of their damage. And you know what, Arch? Other than the triple, that's the only other extra base hit before this double right here.
Right.
They've all been just solid base hits.
They're finding the holes today. Everything they're hitting is getting through, hitting grass.
Taking advantage of some walks. High fly ball, deep left field, and it is caught for out number 2. Boy, this is a ballpark. Everything that's hit in the air seems like it's got a chance to get out of here.
Well, it was the big swing, maybe a little bit off the end, but he got underneath it. And if it was hit to right, it would have carried. But this one, it looked like the wind maybe just held it up a little bit.
Yeah, it is blowing from left to right. So
the ball's really carrying to right center field. But that one may have died a little bit.
So 2 down. And Kai Tom, who had an RBI single his only time up in the fifth, and did a really nice job by lacing it into left field. Just inside out swing. This time he rolls it over to second. Close play. He really gets down the line in a hurry. Stretch time in Vegas. 11-3 Cleveland. It's 11-3 Cleveland. And we're going now to the bottom of the 7th inning. Jacob Hanneman will lead off for the Cubs. New pitcher for the Tribe is Preston Claiborne. 30-year-old right-hander. Spent most of last year at AAA Texas. First pitch strike. Fastball, slider, changeup for Claiborne. Grew up just outside of Dallas. Up and away, ball 2. Lined in center field. No, it's tracked down by Stamax. And that is out number 1.
Sort of shattered his bat right there, and it took a little of the sting out of it. It looked like it was going to be a base hit, but no, it didn't get over the head.
Well, Preston Claiborne dealt with an elbow strain last year. He was originally drafted by the Yankees back in 2010. Made his debut with the Bronx Bombers in 13. He's also been with the Marlins and Giants organizations. Chesney Young walked and came around to score in the 5th. Some of the highlights of this game. Stephen Fife did a really nice job in the starting role. He went 4 innings.
Yes, he did.
Struck out 6 in those 4 innings. And then defensively, great play by Bradley Zimmer in center field. A dynamite throw to cut down a run at the plate. That was back in the 3rd inning. And then the bats, the grand slam by Eric Haas. Part of a 12-hit attack that has yielded the Indians 11 runs. Been a fun weekend here in Las Vegas.
I was just going to ask you, what'd you think of big league weekend here
I really enjoyed
Vegas?
It. Yeah. I think it'll be really cool to see what they do with the new ballpark.
Yeah, which is supposed to open next year. That's going to be out in Summerlin, different part of the Vegas.
Just kind of west of the Strip.
But that's a beautiful area out there.
Line to right. Caught. 2 down. Now here's a look at the play that Bradley Zimmer made back in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, the man on second base stuttered just a little bit. And he thought he was going to score, but boy, he kept that ball down. It skipped off the downside of that mound, and Haas at home plate was able to catch it with 2 hands and apply the tag because he had time to get there. So a very good throw to. That was the 2nd out of the inning.
But for a young outfielder, Bradley Zimmer does something that you always talked about as an outfielder. It's not getting the throw to the catcher all in one fell swoop. It's getting the low throw, because if you throw a big lollipop up there, well, it's going to take too much time anyway. Throw it low, and if the guy needs to cut it, he can cut it.
And you freeze runners at first base when you keep the ball down, or anywhere you're going to throw it, you keep them from running because they look for the arch in the throw. And I think a lot of outfielders try to make that throw and get it there in the air. Center field, you've got to get it over the pitcher's mound. That's the toughest part of the throw in center field. And his just barely made it over because it wasn't that high, and it just skimmed, and it got to home plate quickly.
Two down, 1-2 pitch. Up and in. As far as the ballpark here, though, in Las Vegas, we were mentioning before, this ballpark opened in 1983, which makes it one of the oldest ballparks in the PCL.
That was, what, 35 years old? Yeah.
So it's time for a new yard for the AAA Las Vegas 51s. Strike 3 called. The inning is over, and Preston Claiborne sharp with a 1-2-3 7th.
Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Eric Haas, a grand slam. Big highlight early in this one. Indians are up 11-3. I was going to say I wouldn't think it'd be a good day at the snow cone sales, but they're enjoying it.
Oh, yeah. I think it might be a little bit better when you're sitting in the sun.
A couple of defensive changes for Chicago. Trey Martin into the ball game. Good-looking young outfielder. Mike Pappy leading off for the Tribe, and he came on in the 5th inning and had an RBI single.
Number 86, Jason Bosler, is now at 3rd.
Down low. Alec Mills still on pitching for Chicago. Jason Vosler has taken over at 3rd base. And a full count. I beg your pardon, 3-1. That was the first strike he threw. It's been a recurring theme for Chicago pitching today. Oh, Pappy crushes that ball the opposite way, but it's going to be run down on the warning track, and you can see the wind kind of knock that down at the last moment. Martin had to slam on the brakes and almost come back for it.
And he was looking up into that sun a little bit. You could see he had to shade his eyes. That ball up and out over the plate. And, you know, from the way we were watching the ball carry yesterday, that thing did not carry that way.
Yeah. One down, a swing and a miss for Jack Murphy. Murphy takes. That's in off the plate. A little low. And a count, 2 balls and a strike. It's now 3-1 for the second consecutive batter. Back out of play. Not sure if they've announced the official attendance here today, but there were well over 10,000 yesterday. Sold out affair. Jack Murphy trying the same route that Pappy tried. It just doesn't carry that way. And there are 2 down. Not today anyway.
Number 86, Nathan Vossler is now playing third base. Number 88, Trey Martin in center field. Number 93, Lynn Bernard in left field.
So with 2 down, Drew Maggi getting an opportunity. He had a triple and scored a run on the 5th. He's gone the whole way today. Drew, a guy that's bounced around. He's 28 years old. He's been with the Pirates, the Angels, the Dodgers organizations, but he's never played a game so far in the big leagues. Last year, AAA with the Dodgers, he hit .271 at Oklahoma City. Foul back out of play. Just a little bit low.
Close pitch. Close one to take.
Now a 2-2. Grounded to third. Big hop there. Vossler's throw in time. And we'll go to the bottom of the 8th. 11-3 Cleveland. Yeah, back here in Las Vegas. Winding down big league weekend. Indians up 11-3 after they lost 11. What was the final yesterday?
11-4.
11-4 yesterday. Yep. So turnabout fair play. Alexi Ogando coming on to pitch here in the 8th. Charcer Burks leading off. No, this isn't Charcer Burks. This is Yasiel Belliger. Angel Lopez now catching for the Indians. Good piece of hitting right there. That's a gapper. Belliger into second base with a leadoff double. That's his second double of the day.
Yes, he is. He has wasted no time. He doubled in the 5th inning to drive in a run off Olson down the third baseline. Plugs the gap here.
Well, you asked earlier if anybody takes more abuse than Andre.
Yes.
Andre found the one guy who takes more abuse than he does, Mike Barnett.
What do you work on with the slow-mo, and how much do you get to see it?
Well, the slow-mo stuff is fantastic. I'm glad they put that in this year because a lot of times when we've talked about it, you don't really know what the real call is until you get to see the time play out. And the slow-motion replay is going to be a big plus, so I'm glad Major League Baseball put it in.
Now during spring training, I know you do more than just record, but what do you work on, and do you need those last 2 games in Arizona to kind of get the ball rolling for you?
Oh, yeah, just to get back the feel of it, use the equipment again, stuff like that. I mean, it's just part of it. And, but mainly focusing on the advanced scouting stuff and getting ready for Seattle and Anaheim coming up. And so it's been a busy spring, but it's been a good one.
It has been a busy spring. I heard that your career highlight was coaching Michael Jordan. What did he learn from you?
I don't know what he learned from me. No, Michael was great. He was fun. That was a great learning experience to be around one of the best athletes ever, and just to see his work ethic. His work ethic was second to none. That's never been around.
What did you ever do to Tito?
I don't know, but he loves getting on you and me.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to stop hanging out with you. Thanks a lot, Bart. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Andre. Love it.
Back up to you guys.
What you didn't see there is the whole time he was doing that interview, Tito was throwing baseballs at him, throwing seeds at him. Poor Barney. He deals with a lot down there. Just to the right, to camera right of Tito. Timeout as Lopez wants to go out and talk it over with Agondo.
Yeah, there it comes. Out comes the sheet. Let's mark it down as a trip to the mound.
Just umpires are getting into practice too. Practice, you're gonna have to do it during the regular season. Might as well do it now. But Barney, as we mentioned, I mean, here's a guy who's been around the game his whole life. He's coached a long
majors,
time.
minors, he's been all over. Yes, indeed. Spent his whole career, you know, and knows a lot of people in the game. When you spend as much time around it as he has and been with the different organizations, you certainly meet a lot of people and you cross paths with a lot of ball players.
He takes his job, though, as replay coordinator very seriously. I mean, he's very conscientious about it, too. If there's a game where he had a play, where he wasn't sure, he looked at the replays, he'll even come and talk to us. What did you guys think? What did you see? You know, he wants more input so he can make the best informed decision.
Well, he gets used to, you know, the way we cut a game and the way he sees things, and he likes it when we're doing the game.
Base hit in the right field. Bellinger's going to have to stop at third. And the Cubs trying to put something together here. A couple of base hits to open the bottom of the 8th. Pappy got to that ball in a hurry and got off a good throw. So that kept the big guy, Bellinger. And he doesn't look like he runs all that well.
That's a lot of body to move around the bases.
Big dude.
Yes, he is.
The official attendance has been announced 10,774. So more folks today than yesterday, and a lot of those Cubs fans have already headed for the exits. A little bit low. And Agondo falls behind 2-0. Hit to center field. Kai Tom makes the catch. Tagging and scoring is Bellinger. And the Cubs get their 4th run of the day. Watch the birds take off, huh?
Yeah, they sure did. That's the Alfred Hitchcock, the birds. Should have did that Friday night.
Man. 11-3 in Goodyear. They played 6 innings where the Indians are beating the Mariners. Mike Clevenger went 4 1/3. Struck out 9. Gave up a couple of hits. Dan Otero worked 2/3 of a scoreless inning. Nick Goody now in the ball game has pitched a scoreless inning. Swing, and he
had to foul that off, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Runner took off, but it was signaled a foul ball.
I mean, he started to swing and wanted to hold up, but couldn't do it. And foul it off, that's for sure.
Daniel Spingola. Wow, he went back in there, almost the exact same pitch. And it's 1-2. Wow, Lopez did well to grab that. It was headed to the backstop. Alexi Ogando trying to make it as a starter. Even though the Indians expressed to him there really isn't an opportunity in the rotation.
That's true, there is not.
But at 34 years old, that's what he wants to do. Doesn't want to pitch out of the bullpen, which is what he had done earlier in his career. Went to Korea last year, started 19 games and was 10-5. (14, 15, and 16). He pitched exclusively out of the bullpen for the Rangers, Red Sox, and Braves, respectively. Solis would be next for Chicago, or he will be next, unless you get a double play ball here. Tried to hold up, but he went around.
He sure did. I mean, that ball, that's one like he fouled off earlier. He was cheating on that ball and kept running in, and he couldn't check his swing. And he did go.
I wonder if that's a pitch where pitcher-catcher combination, they see a guy chase it early and they say he's going to have a tough time laying off that pitch.
Well, he did. He fouled it off, a couple of 3-2 pitches. They went right back in there. He wanted to hit. He wasn't going to be, he didn't want to walk, and I don't blame him.
Now Ali Solis. Back over our heads and headed back to the parking lot. Indians will head back to Goodyear right after this ball game. Continue the Cactus League action. They got an off day coming up. We'll televise again on Wednesday when the Indians host the Royals in Goodyear. That one skipped into the crowd. Everybody got out of the way. Yeah, the Indians will Play the Giants in Scottsdale tomorrow. Then they'll have an off day. Nice catch by Ton to end the inning. It's 11-4 Cleveland, and we are headed to the ninth. Back here in Las Vegas, back in the third inning, Eric Haas with the bases loaded. Juices one at deep right field and way out of here for a grand slam. That broke the game open.
Yes, it did. I mean, that was a 2-out base hit, mind you, and a big hit. It turned it over. They had a 2-1 lead. So it did. It made it a 5-2 game. And a good spring, and Andre had a chance to talk to him, after he came out of the ball game. Seemed like a great kid with a good attitude and has had a very good spring.
New right fielder for the Cubs. Same pitcher, Alec Mills. Eric Steinmetz will lead off for the Tribe. Steinmetz and then Greg Allen. Ninth inning here at Cashman Field. One ball, one strike. Steinmetz pulls it foul, third base side. Eric's dad was a native of Cleveland, Northeast Ohio anyway, went to Painesville Riverside High School. Popped up right at home plate. That's out number one. And up comes Greg Allen.
Left fielder, Greg Allen.
Dorsey's Polino moves to the on-deck circle. Greg takes a strike.
The on-deck circle for Cleveland is number 51, Dorsey's Polino.
Down low.
Mentioned the Indians will play tomorrow and play the Giants, and then they have Tuesday off, right?
Yes.
And then I'm sure that's when we'll see a lot of the cuts going down to
you would expect
normal,
at least a decent number.
I would think so, and then we'll have the game on Wednesday evening. So we'll have a little better idea of how it's shaken down.
And then after that, it's a week to opening day.
Right.
So. Greg pops it foul to play.
That's usually when Tito's going to start putting that starting lineup in there, getting them together, and they'll play deeper into the ball games and stretching those pitchers out. And yeah, it's been it's at this time of spring. I think no matter who you are, whether you're players, your managers, you've been down there. I think it's you want the bell to ring and things to count.
Swinging a miss, strikes him out, 2 down. Well, here is Dorsey's Polino. Still a really good young player for the Indians. He won't turn 24 until the season ends. His birthday's in November. But he's kind of bounced up through the organization quick manner of time. But, he reached Double-A for the first time last year. He's always shown the ability to swing the bat. I mean, last year he only hit 257, but the year before that at Lynchburg he hit 284. Hit 305 the year before that at Lynchburg. Bounced up the gut, flying down the line, but they get him at first. And the Indians go 1-2-3. And we'll go to the bottom of the ninth. 11-4, Cleveland. No, the Indians are up 11-4 going to the bottom of the ninth inning. And Stephen Fife was the starting pitcher for the Tribe today. Really did a nice job.
Yes, he did. I mean, he had 6 strikeouts. He did not walk anybody. He moved the ball around. He changed speeds, had a little cutter going in. Fastball, changeup sinking away. And then a couple of times some good hitters made through that curveball.
Yeah.
And made him work. He got Bryant. He got Rizzo with it one time. So he mixed his pitches very well and had good command.
Neil Ramirez will come on now for the Tribe. Try to close it out. And a first pitch strike. Foul right back. Foul back. Neil Ramirez comes set. Now the 0-2 is pulled just foul up the first base line. Down low. Up and away. You know, we were mentioned earlier about Derek Falvey and the job that he's done in Minnesota with getting the Twins not only back to respectability quickly, but putting them now in a position where, you know, I think a lot of folks went into the offseason looking at the situation and said, well, it's really the Indians and nobody else really going to be there to challenge them. Well, now all of a sudden the Twins at least have
they signed some pitchers.
Jake Odorizzi.
Right. They traded for him.
They got Lance Lynn.
They just signed him about a week ago.
They've got Addison Reed in the bullpen.
Right.
Along with Fernando Rodney, Zach Duke. Picked up Anibal Sanchez.
No, they released him, though.
Oh, he got released.
Yeah, when they signed Lynn, they released him. But, yeah, the news out on that organization today is their shortstop, Polanco. I think suspended 80 games.
Strike 3 called.
Their shortstop.
Really?
Yes.
That is official, huh?
Yes, it is.
Now, just that's a look at what they've done.
A couple of veterans in the bullpen with Rodney and Reed.
And obviously Logan Morrison.
And Zach Duke. Yeah. Right, but, you know, I was thinking, all right, Morrison's going to play some first base. What's the, you know, Maurer do?
Right.
You know, he's the DH first base, too.
how do they work that all together?
Yeah, well, that's up to Paul Molitor. He'll end up finding at bats for them all, I'm sure.
Yeah, I just got the update here now.
Did you?
Plus. Jorge Polanco, 80 games for performance-enhancing substance. Yeah, that's not going to.
That's a kid that had a really nice year the second half of the year, if you think about it.
Caught. 2 down.
You never know, huh?
No.
They're still trying to get away with it. What's going on, man? It's crazy. And Kansas City, wasn't it Cuthbert that is suspended for 80 games too?
I was talking to somebody the other day about this, and they brought up a good point. And they said, I think a lot of these younger players, not just to throw younger players all in the same mix, but a lot of them, they're trying to be at their best, and they're using supplements that you maybe get at the health store, wherever you get these things. And sometimes there's things in the supplements that aren't on the label that you don't know about.
Well, they've got to know that. I mean, they've got trainers. They try to instruct these kids at the minor league level as well as they can.
Point being, the person who was having this conversation with said, why do they need that stuff? Just eat properly, and you don't need the supplements.
Well, there's always an edge. They always want to try to get better. That's why when they're younger, they want to continue.
0-2 pitch. Swung out and missed. Hey, struck him out to end the game. Well, the Indians roll the Cubs in the finale of Big League Weekend here in Vegas, 11-4. And they split the 2-game series.
11-4 yesterday, Cubs. 11-4 today, Tribe.
Fun weekend for all. Everybody had a good time. The fans seemed to enjoy the experience as well. I know the players had fun. Some of the pitchers may say otherwise because they're.
Well, that's true. In this ballpark, the ball was flying out of here.
Can give up some runs here. But the Indians will now head back to Goodyear. Cubs will also head back to Cactus League play, and both clubs will now get ready to start the regular season. We'll be back on the air with you Wednesday evening, 9 o'clock Eastern time, when the Tribe takes on the Kansas City Royals. So that's going to wrap things up from beautiful Cashman Stadium here in Las Vegas, Nevada. For Rick Manning and Andre Knott and our entire crew and staff, so long. We'll see you Wednesday night.